Hello, Akuros here. I have fucking nothing to say. I'm gonna try show you how to tween because people keep asking me. The most important thing you have to understand for tweening is pivot points. They're not too complicated in my opinion, unless you're like trying to do hip sways and stuff. That's a whole nother thing. There's like a video by this dude with 100 billion bajillion likes. I'll put it in the description somewhere. But basically, if I get like a little limb here and the pivot point is in the middle, it's just gonna spin when you try and rotate it. If you put it at where the hand is, it's going to like move from the hand, which isn't ideal because I don't think anyone's limbs work that way. But if you put it up at the top, where it would connect to the elbow, then you've got a hand that moves perfectly. It's not a hand, it's an arm. You got an arm that moves perfectly. Hooray! Now, my thing is, when I first started, nobody told me how to find these pivot points. So I was like looking for fucking ages. I think it's a bit different on like different devices, but at least on iPhone, you go into the little section where there's all the shit, like you can move it up and down and you can like swing it around, and you click on the one that moves it, the line, little arrows, all that. You click on that and then it goes blue, and then you can shift the pivot point around. It won't work unless you use the little like pad thing. I can't explain it. I'll just show you in the video, but you can only like move it via that. Otherwise you're just moving the entire layer if you're doing it like on the screen. So yeah, there you go. Another thing is with pivot points is if you're going to fuck around with the sizing, like make it bigger, smaller, I don't fucking know, you have to like put the pivot point where you want it to get smaller. If for some reason you want it as it gets smaller to, get smaller and go to the top, or get bigger and go to the bottom, that's where you have to put the pivot points. If you just want it to like stay in the same spot and do that, then you just put it in the middle of whatever you're doing. And there you go. All fixed. Wow, awesome. While we're on the topic of the scaling and sizing and stuff, I just want to show you guys how it works. It's not like difficult, but there is a little thingy mabob at the top, kind of looks like a chain, and you click that and it will separate it into two separate things, which are width and length, I think. Obviously, depending on how you move them, it'll get like longer but not taller, or taller but not longer. If you want it to just like scale normally, you just have the first one you get with the chain, where it's like, yeah, it's all in one, and then it just like changes size, so its size is different rather than stretching. Since Corona is a fucking idiot, she wanted me to teach you how to make things slide for some reason. You literally just put, in fact, the pivot point doesn't even matter. As long as you're not rotating it, the pivot point doesn't matter, okay? And you use a little pad at the bottom. You click them. I forgot what they're called. They're not called chroma keys. I don't fucking know what they are. The little diamonds. Press 1 when you want them to start sliding. Make sure you're on the like moving transform thing, by the way, otherwise it'll do it for some other shit. And then scroll to where you want them to stop sliding. Press it again. And then use the little bottom pad to move them to where you want it to be sliding. And I recommend, I'll explain graphs better later, but for sliding, I recommend like the most like basic graph, which I'll show you, and then it'll look like this. There you go. Hope you're happy, Corona, you fucking idiot.